Now, some Nigerians believe that the country is facing a growing risk of sliding into a one-party state as deepening cracks within opposition parties threaten to weaken democratic checks and balances. At a recent political gathering in Abuja, Nenadi Usman, who is the caretaker committee chairperson of the Labour Party, raised concerns about the ruling APC's grip on power and the opposition's inability to mount a unified, credible challenge. Now, political observers warn that without urgent reform and a collaboration among opposition groups, the country's democratic space may continue to shrink. And so I will be discussing this with Marcel Ngogbehei, who is the Director General of the Labour Party Directorate of Mobilisation and Integration in London, UK. Thank you so much, Marcel, for joining us.
Thank you.
And we also have Lateef Aremu, who is a political analyst, and he joins us from Oyo State right here in Nigeria. Thank you so much, Lateef, for joining us.
Yeah, good evening. Thanks for having me around.
All right, before we delve into the conversation, we are going to watch a video excerpt of the President, Bola Tinubu, talking about a one-party system. So let's quickly take a listen.
Need to tell those ones, saying one-party system is no good. It's one party ruling and driving the aspiration of Nigerians. Where do they start? You don't blame a people bailing out of a sinking ship when they have no life jacket. I'm glad of what we have, and I'm expecting more to come. That is the game. We are in a constitutional democracy. Don't forget the freedom of movement and the freedom of association. It's not criminally punishable. Welcome to the progressive.
Okay, so that particular video ended with the President saying, sweep them clean. And I'm going to start with Marcel. Clearly, it seems as though the President is not really bothered about a one-party system, saying that there's a constitutional, provision for it. I'd like to take your thoughts on the statement of the President as regards a one-party system. Marcel.
Thank you for having me on the show. Now, one thing you should understand is that politics in Nigeria is a zero-sum game. So a zero-sum game in the sense that one person's loss is another person's gain. So if you understand that, then you will understand that even the opposition now need to, hype their game. They need to up their game in terms of making sure that the party does not slide into a one-party, the country does not slide into a one-party system. We know how Tinubu led an opposition in 2024, 2025 against a ruling party to bring the level of opposition that is required. So it's now on the current opposition to come together to give that level of fight that they gave then in 2014 to this current government. But before we delve into that, I need to correct something. You mentioned someone as being maybe Labour Party caretaker committee. There is nothing like that within the Labour Party. I'm the DG of the Mobilisation and Integration. Labour Party does not have a caretaker committee at this point.
Okay.
What we have the national chairman in the person of Barrister Julius Abure. So please let us clarify that for our viewers, okay?
All right, that's noted. So I'll come to Lateef now. You heard the President talk about a one-party system. And I recall a report in 2010 with the president coming out to say or warn Nigerians about Nigeria descending into a one-party system, saying that that is not good for Nigeria's democracy. Lateef, what do you think changed in the president's perspective in 2010, about 10 years, with him saying that there's no issue with it now in 2025?
Well, I don't think much has changed about the president's perspective. What has only changed is his position. Don't forget, in 2010, he was in the opposition, and the role of the opposition is to put the ruling party on its toes, is to ensure that they scrutinize whatever the ruling party is doing, and in most cases they criticize, even if the ruling party is doing well. And now the president is now in power, his party is now in power. And don't forget, the first thing for a political party is to ensure that they perpetuate themselves in power. That is the first thing. They think about winning elections, getting into power first, and then they now think about governance. So the priority of every political party is to dominate other political parties. So it's not as if the president has forgotten his stance in 2010. It's just that the president, the position has changed. He was at the other side of the table that time. Now he is at the end of the table, and they want to continue. The party wants to perpetuate themselves in power, and so they won't mind the opposition going into oblivion for them to do that. So it's not the opposition who needs to up their game and to ensure that the ruling party don't push them into oblivion. So it's not really about what the president wants now. It's not really about what the president is saying. It's about what the law is saying. The Nigerian Constitution says Nigeria is a multi-party democracy. It is not a one-party state. It is not a two-party state. It is a multi-party democracy. So which gives room for as many as political parties we can muster. So that every political party wants to dominate, the party in power wants to dominate. It's not left to the opposition parties to put their games together, to put their houses together, and give us the kind of opposition that Nigeria will see that, oh, these guys are actually doing it. Like the one the president party did between 2010, 2011 when they formed the APC, up to 2015 when they came into power. So it's not about what the president thinks. It's about the position. It's about the side of the table the president is now.
Okay, so Marcel, I come to Marcel now. Do you think this kind of political domination is what Nigeria needs?
Doesn't need a one-party state. I mean, we know what that means. It means a group of people will just hijack the state, and without being challenged, they will do what they need to do. But one thing we should now ask ourselves is that why are we not having a very viral and strong opposition to this particular government? Why is the opposition not coming together to form a united front, just like we saw in 2010 to 2014, which Tinubu and his group led? And there are several reasons why that is currently happening, top of which is the personality and leadership conflicts within the opposition party. So different opposition parties have a kind of a personality cult following, and that kind of want to define what it is. Now, in 2014, that was a good thing because there was a coming together of different parties to want to support one person, which they think has the numbers over time to rescue power from the sitting PDP then. So I think that for the current government to be giving a serious fight for their money, the parties need to come together, think of one particular candidate that has following and that has a tendency to upstage, and then every one of them should shield their personality and leadership ego. They should forget about their personal egos and save the country. So if the opposition really wants to save the country, then they have to come back as one, forget personality, forget ego, forget pride, and realize that it is the integrity of the country, it is the life of the country, it is the life of the citizens that is at stake. So, and when we talk about this personality, it happens in virtually all the parties. Like if you take the case of the Labour Party, we have people that just came and think that their personal interest to want to control the party supersedes over the interest of us to rescue the country. So they rather focus their fight on the chairmanship of the party rather than focus their fight on rescuing the country. In the case of PDP, is an internal turmoil where what they did in 2023 by not respecting a simple zoning arrangement also cost them the presidency. Because if you look at 2023, if PDP has simply zoned their presidential seats to the south, preferably to the southeast, the combined votes of the Labour Party presidential candidates and the PDP presidential candidate would have brought them to power. So it still comes down to that, people not wanting to let go their greed or their personal quest to power. So if opposition has to be viral, then they need to calm down and allow Nigerians to come together to rescue their country from the hands of the APC.
Okay, so we're still going to talk more, Marcel, about the Labour Party crisis, but then we quickly need to go on a break. And when we return, we'll pick it from the angle of the internal crisis within the PDP and the Labour Party. So we'll go on a very short break. We'll be back in a bit. As Nigeria continues its democratic journey, the division within its opposition parties is drawing serious concern. Critics say these internal rifts fueled by selfish ambition, like one of my guests said a while ago, and the lack of coordination are making it easier for the ruling APC to dominate the political space. And one would ask the question, can Nigeria's multi-party system survive? Well, I've been talking to Marcel Ngogbehei, the Director General of the Labour Party, Directorate of Mobilisation and Integration, and of course Lateef Aremu, who is a political analyst. We've been talking about this. So I'll quickly come to Lateef now. There are internal crises, leadership crises in the PDP. There are also leadership crises in the Labour Party, those two focal parties. Now, are these the parties that you think can actually form a formidable coalition to actually stand against the possibility of a one-party system in Nigeria?
Yes. Let me say, I'll answer that in the affirmative because when you look at the PDP, for instance, the PDP still remains one of the largest political parties in Africa. And when you look at the structure, it has this national spread. And there are still people who believe that the PDP stands a chance even against the APC ruling party. And the Labour Party as well did very well at the last national election. They have that foundation, that they can build on, that they can build upon to ensure that they do well at the next election and to ensure that they do well against the ruling party. So if these two parties can work together in coalition, present a common front, I believe they can do well against the ruling political party, and they can stand against the attempted domination of the APC. So if we are to look at it critically and objectively, the PDP and the Labour Party are still those two strong parties that can actually stand against the APC. And if they can put their houses together, if they can put their differences aside, put the leadership crisis within the parties to bed and ensure that they are able to put their houses in order, present a common front, I surely believe that they stand a chance against the APC, especially the PDP.
All right, so Marcel, according to what we understand, the Nenadi Usman faction of the Labour Party seems to favor a coalition, but the Julius Abure faction prefers that the Labour Party should contest independently. I'd like to quickly find out, is the Labour Party part of the coalition? What is the position of the Labour Party?
Again, let's be clear, Labour Party just have one leadership, and that is Barrister Julius Abure. There is no time the constitution of Labour Party recognizes any caretaker committee. So I think we should stop referring that thing. No, it doesn't exist in Labour Party lexicon. Now, Barrister Julius Abure has come openly to say that for now, the Labour Party is not involved in coalition because, again, if you look at the coalition, what are they up to? Are they just to grab power? Is it a power-grabbing coalition? or a coalition that is focused on solving Nigeria's problem. So the Labour Party has taken a backseat, and we are watching. Maybe at the right time we might come to a table, but for now, what we are seeing does not show us that these people that are coming to form a coalition are doing that for Nigerians. And looking at the two parties, I want to put it this way. PDP has a structural problem that emerged in 2023, where there was a broken rules, and it's deep because the main players in PDP, some of them are working hand in hand with APC, and some of them are floating. So it might be slightly difficult to say that the PDP might be able to come together as it stands now. I mean, Wike is strongly a minister in the APC government, and I don't see him turning around to fight the government in which he's currently serving in. So that leaves the only opposition party in the country really to be the Labour Party. Labour Party issues are purely superficial, and superficial in the sense that it is a figment of some people's imagination, that they think that they can, by mere propaganda, bring about a change in leadership. But that has been settled now. You know, the Anambra Congress that Labour Party held, INEC has recognized the Anambra Congress, and INEC has also gone ahead to recognize the Labour Party leadership of Abure with its team in Lagos. So that is settled. So anybody that thinks that we still have problem in Labour Party, maybe might be living in the past. So what I will advise now is, with the problem of Labour Party over, without any question about its leadership, it's now time for other progressive Nigerians to come together for that party, because Labour Party is still a party where anyone can pick up the ticket. It's still open. We've not adopted any candidate. The place is open. So people can rally around that particular party, and let's use it as a main front of opposition for APC. It has a spread, it has a structure, and it has the leadership.
Marcel, so what you are saying is that the Labour Party is not part of the coalition?
For now, yes.
All right, I will come back to you in a bit. I'd like to get Lateef's response to this. Now, we've talked about the issues in the PDP, and Marcel has said that it is structurally defective in terms of the make of the PDP, as it were. Do you think that is the position of the PDP in terms of how viable and how strong it can to form a coalition that can cause an upset in 2027?
Well, before I answer your question properly, let me state categorically that I am not a member of any of this political party, so I am not in position to speak for them. I understand the point of view of Mr. Marcel. He is an executive member of the Labour Party, and his job is to position his party as, like we always say on the street, as the next thing after the sliced bread. So I understand his perspective, and I understand where he's coming from, putting Labour Party as the only opposition party that can stand against the ruling party in the country. So I am not a member of the PDP. I cannot come on here to say this is what is wrong with the PDP and this is what the PDP is doing to put its house in order. But as a keen observer of the Nigerian political terrain, as a keen observer of what is going on within the Nigerian political system, I think the PDP still stand a chance, because when you look at the workings of the PDP, it has that internal mechanism to take care of its issues, to always settle its disputes, to ensure that they put things in order. And I want to believe that PDP will also will find a way to weather this storm and present a common front. Whether they are going to work with the Labour Party or other political parties to go against the APC is not something I can say, because I'm not a member of that party. I'm not privy to some internal information about the party. So only members of the party's working committee or those who have internal information about the party can answer that. But looking at it from the understanding of what a political party should look like and how a political party should work, despite the differences we can see from the surface, you can still see that the PDP is still maintaining that structure, the PDP is still maintaining that mechanism, and if they can go back to the drawing board, try to settle their differences. Mr. Mazen mentioned about
All right.
The same thing goes for the Labour Party.
All right, so Marcel, quickly, two things. You said that for now, the Labour Party is standing alone as long as 2027 is concerned. And you also said that there are no factions in the Labour Party, that the Julius Abure working committee, so to speak, is in charge of the party. But then what about the Supreme Court's judgment that ratifies the expiration of Julius Abure as the national chairman, one? Then two, we know that the common enemy, so to speak, for these other opposition parties is the ruling APC. Why is it that, as of now, the Labour Party has not concluded on joining a coalition to unseat the ruling party?
Okay, first, the Supreme Court did not ratify the expiration of Barrister Julius Abure's tenure. What the Supreme Court simply said is that parties should go in and respect their constitution. And that was what the Barrister Julius Abure-led National Working Committee has done. And INEC has gone ahead to work with them going forward. So that is settled. So when you talk about coalition, the question is, what is the objective of the coalition? You know, we saw a coalition that came effect in 2024 that brought about Buhari. And what was the objective? A group of politicians from different segments that are disgruntled came together, formed a political party to usurp power. What did we get out of it? We have all of them come into power, and then they decide to share the slices the way they like. Did the masses get better for it? No. So when you talk about coalition, I want to look at it from two perspectives. If a coalition is meant to give birth to another political party, then one thing you should be rest assured is a power-sharing coalition. Is not for the masses. They want to come in, have a political party, and then put themselves in different offices in that political party, use it to get power, and then come back to share power among themselves. That is what we're saying. Now, if a coalition is focused on helping the country grow and rescuing the country, then formation of a new party should not be its agenda. They should rather focus on who and which is the most veritable party currently that can do that. Okay. Now, most of these people, they differ in ideology, and that's why we need to be very, very careful. I mean, you could take the case of El Rufai. You know his ideology, why he was the governor of Kaduna State, all the killings that happened there. We know what he said. The videos are all there. Is it, I mean, just name all of them. They have different ideologies. So when you have people that have different ideologies coming together temporarily to form a political party, you should know that the aim is for them to just hijack power and continue the sharing.
Okay.
So for Labour Party, what we're looking at is ability for us to present a strong candidate that is sellable to the Nigerian people. And we want Nigerians, it's Nigerians that should actually form the coalition, not the politicians. We want Nigerians to come together to rally around that particular candidate, irrespective of where he comes from. Okay, so a coalition trying to form a political party is a power hijacking coalition, just like we saw with APC. But a coalition by Nigerians that is focused on just supporting one candidate under a party that have a strong ideology is the way to go. And that's why Labour Party has, you know, taken a back step. And let's see exactly what this is all about.
Marcel,
of different bedfellows coming together, you should be worried.
Marcel, one word answer. I'd like it to be very quick. Is it is Peter Obi going to be the flag bearer, coalition or not, the flag bearer of the Labour Party?
The Labour Party ticket is open. I mean, Peter Obi is, I would say he's favorable, but the Labour Party ticket is open. And the rest assured that what we're also trying to fight against is this personality court. So the party is open to anybody,
okay.
And the party will conduct its congresses, and it will be free and fair, and anybody that emerges is who we're going to work with.
Okay. Finally, Lateef, the African Action Congress flag bearer, that is Omoyele Sowore, said that these coalition efforts lacks vision and ideology, and it would only give President Bola Tinubu the leverage for re-election. Just about a minute. What's going to be a reaction to that?
Well, I think the coalition is even yet to be formed and is already passing an opinion. Let's see the kind of people that will come together to form the coalition, and let's see the kind of ideology they will present to Nigerians. So the Nigerian people will be the ones to decide if it is the kind of coalition they want, if the coalition is going to come up with a new political party apart from the existing major political parties. Let's see what they are going to come up with, and let's see if it is what is going to be acceptable to the majority of Nigerians. So it is not in Omoyele Sowore's place to preempt what these people are going to do. But just like Mr. Marcel said, these are people with different ideologies, these are people with different outlook, that they can put that behind them and come together and present a common front and see where we go from there. So don't forget, Mr. Omoyele Sowore is also eyeing the presidential seat, and is also trying to see how he can maneuver other political parties, or how he can maneuver other candidates and become the president of Nigeria. So he's also working for his own benefit. Whatever he says is to demarket his opposition and market himself to Nigerians. So he's not the one to tell us what the coalition is all about. If they are going to come up with a coalition, let them form the coalition. Let's see what the coalition comprises of. Let's see the kind of the people, the caliber of the politicians that have formed the coalition, and we can say, okay, this is where we are going from here. We'll see how it goes from there. So Sowore can say whatever he likes. He is a politician. He has contested to be president, and he is likely to contest again. So it's in his place to present himself as the only viable candidate and rubbish whatever other people are trying to come up with.
Okay, Lateef Aremu, a political analyst, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us.